All right, we live on the Everything Black show, getting the music pumped up here. We got a good show for y'all tonight. We're going to talk about how the Democrats are crashing out. And here's the first video on that right now. Silence the music. Here we go. Fair use YouTube, fair use Facebook. This
You know,
the one.
but let's go ahead and listen to. This is from. I love this channel over here, Sky News Australia. They had a lefties losing it segment this morning that had me dying laughing, and so I want to go through it and let's talk about it on the other end. All right.
Well, they're giving me too much content.
I'm sorry. No. Why?
Look, it's fair to say
She flipped out. Hey, don't she kind of look like Laura's friend on Family Matters? What was up? Hey, chat room. What was old girl's name on Family Matters? Remember Laura's homegirl? No. Was it Family? Yeah, Family Matters. Laura's homegirl. I forgot her name in Family Matters. She looked like her.
Look, it's fair to say she's not handling it well. As for this lass, I'm not sure where she is today.
I swear to God, if you idiots elect that demented man.
Look at this. Don't she look like Kathy Bates in Misery? Oh yeah, Maxine. Yeah, old girl look like Maxine from Family Matters. That was her name. Maxine.
I'm not playing with him. I'm not playing with him today.
Yep. That was her.
He said, "What's up?" Yup,
that was her. That was Maxine.
Yep. If you look like her,
Let's go back before we get to Misery.
That did look like her, very much so.
Yeah, that was Maxine.
I believe it is.
Look. Hey, I think I'm on to something. That was Maxine. That's Maxine. Well, I've been wondering where Maxine been this whole time. Look at God. Just the other day, I was like, whatever happened to Maxine from Family Matters? And here we go. She over here losing it over Kamala Harris. Damn, Maxine.
No.
Maxine mad in the motherfucker. That's not really Maxine, y'all, if anybody's taking me literal.
Why?
Look, it's fair to say she's not handling it well. As for this next lass, I'm not sure where she is today.
I swear to God, if you...
Yeah, she hurt. Look at them eyes, all puffy and shit. She ain't slept in 72 hours. Look like she got a wood block between some niggas' ankles upstairs and she about to chop them hoes down.
Maybe she about to get
your Kathy Bates looking ass out of here.
You know what?
Elect that demented man. I will burn this whole place to the ground.
And this woman is too old to be this stupid, but sadly, leftism and TDS can leave the sufferer delirious, delusional, and dangerously stupid.
You voted for a racist, a rapist, a dictator. You voted for a bully, a bigot, and a narcissist. Even the Germans tried to warn us, but you didn't listen. You didn't listen to the historians, the psychologists, the educators, and the intellectuals. Of course not, because Dictatorship 101 is to convince you to distrust the media, the educated, and to create an us versus them mentality.
It's always something. Here's the thing that tripped me out about white women like this. This is the reason why I can't jump in on it. White ladies, these white racist men, these are your sons. These are your nephews. These are your cousins. These are people that you have some kind of effect on when they're children. We as black people, we're segregated from these people. We have no effect on their upbringing. But you'll get these so-called educated white women to sit back and talk about and sound all smart and shit, but they always forget that you raised these dudes. Women set the culture of a society. I don't care if it's white, black, Hindu. The culture, the protection is through the man. The culture is what the women.
All right, what you think about that?
I mean, for the most part, well, what I wanted to first address before I forget
Go
that
ahead.
thought is, you know, he mentions that, you know, it's the mother and the women control the society, right? And not that I'm taking up for white supremacists, so don't come for me because I didn't send for you, so y'all don't come for me. But I will say this, you know, just like black mothers don't have much control if they raise their son correctly and their son decides to grow up and get into a gang and become a Crip or a Blood, you know, or something of that matter. I don't know that we can blame all white women under one umbrella as if they're just teaching this racism. Now, some homes do teach racism, but I don't think that that's the case, that racism is being taught to every single in every single household. I think that just like some black boys choose to join gangs, some white guys, I mean, being a white supremacist is technically like being in a white gang. So in my eyes, so again, don't come for me. I didn't send for you, so y'all don't come for me. But just saying, I just wanted to touch on that. Secondly, I mean, we can blame it on a lot of things, you know, why Kamala lost, but let's be honest. Voters haven't been with the, you know, been down with what the Democrats have been putting down anyway. They haven't been picking up what the Democrats have been putting down over the last 2 years. They haven't been happy with the Biden administration or the Democratic Party over the last couple of years, and really over the last couple of times that we've had a Democratic Party. Even with Obama, you heard some black people complaining about, you know, nothing was done and what did he do for us, and you know, so there was back and forth about that. I think the problem is that oftentimes Democrats, they have big promises and then they have huge letdowns. For the black community, the track record is that they, if they do make us a promise, if they even do, because most of the time they don't promise us much. It's usually diverted elsewhere. It's usually diverted to abortion, or it's usually averted to, you know, some other minority and their plight, or the LGBTQ. No offense to anybody, but we don't really get mentioned that much. And then if we do, the track record now, I think the biggest problem the Democratic Party was against and Kamala was up against was first and foremost the awakening of the black community. I won't say woke, you know, I do believe in wokeness, but I'm just saying I won't say it. It's not per se woke, but it's awareness. It is awareness and becoming aware and being willing to study and see what you about and what are you promising me. And now that the black people and the black community are more aware of what we should be asking for and how we should be asking for it. We just have seen that the track record is they haven't produced. There are a lot of talk and no action. They build us up and then they get the nomination, they get the election, and then they let us down. And I think that was the biggest thing. And then secondly was the abruptness of Biden leaving. He just left, you just left us hanging, homie. Like what? Like we woke up one morning. We woke up one morning and you just wasn't running no more. And then you didn't ask us who we wanted to replace him. You replaced him for us, and then you had Obama and Oprah and Beyonce and everybody telling you that you're just not helping the black community and you're not being black enough if you don't vote for Kamala. And I mean, they literally had it on camera that Obama was literally sitting with black men telling them how unblack they were if they weren't voting for Kamala. And to me, it just seemed very ulterior motive-ish. Gave ulterior motive, because why are you, I get that Biden's health was failing. I get that. We saw that. That is apparent he did not need to run. He was not going to make it not in office. That was too much, too draining, too stressful. I get it. Biden, I wish you well. I hope that you're healthy. No ill will to him. So I get why he sat down. What I don't understand, and I think where they lost a lot of their voter base, is the fact that he stepped down. And why did you push Kamala on us was the question for myself and a lot of other Black people in the community and African Americans. Why Kamala? Why not try to get Michelle? We would have been behind Michelle. You know, what does it take to what dollar amount or what do we need to do to convince Michelle Obama, please, to run? Michelle, this is me pleading to you, please, my Black sister, my Black queen. We will stand behind you as the first Black president, as the Black first woman president, but why Kamala? What was the ulterior motive behind that? Why did you want us to follow her so badly that you threw her up there without even asking who we wanted to run for us, to represent us?
Right.
And then, and then she was a sore loser about it.
Right.
You left all your people. Now you did all that rah-rah hoop, and then you lost, and then you couldn't even go out there for 5 minutes. I know it's hard. Don't get me wrong. I know that's hard.
Right.
Hard to swallow. But you left people out there crying. People who actually voted for you were out there crying because she never came back out. And I think that was poo-poo. Period. I think that just goes to show you they just wanted your vote, and when it didn't work it's like a narcissist. The Democratic Party is very much narcissistic, in my opinion. They want what they want out of you, and if they can't get it, you're no longer useful to them. They don't care about your after, So, hey.
So check this out. This was some of the money went. I don't know if y'all can see that, but let me push it up a little higher.
Yeah.
See, that's where most of the money went. That $1 billion she got, it went to pay most of these celebrities $1 million to put in a bid for her.
Well, and that was the other thing. Not to cut you off, Frank, but I'm glad you brought that up. That was another thing. The rhetoric of parading around. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm a Beyonce fan. I'm a Kelly Rowland fan. I'm a, Eminem fan, but, you're putting on such a parade with all these antics and all this rhetoric, but there's no real spotlight on what you're actually planning on doing. It's almost like just a pep rally. When I was watching her campaign, it was more so like and I won't just say her, because people don't come for me. I'm not saying that Trump is not doing a pep rally also, but I'm just saying, if you want to capture our vote, we're waking up. You're going to have to start telling us what you're going to do and laying it out. Don't just glaze over it like, oh, yeah, I'm going to help you guys. Give us A to Z. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to use your influence so that our Black boys, our Black men are not being incarcerated and killed in mass numbers? What are you going to do, to make sure that we're able to get jobs, even if we have a felony? We voted in somebody that has a felony. That's one thing that I will say, just to digress a little bit. I will say that I am looking forward to see what Trump is going to do now that we've given him a job as a felon. Can we have our brothers be able to get jobs as felons? But I digress. So let me move on. But yeah. For sure. I really do feel like, that was also another thing, was just like the parading of the, if we're going to have our first Black president, male or female, Barack did the same thing. He had, Beyonce perform and stuff, but it was tasteful. I feel like the way that Kamala did it was not very tasteful. No offense to, what's her name? Little Red, Big Red. Little Red. I don't know her name, for real. I don't know her name. What is her name? I'm being so serious right now. What's her name?
Talking about
the one that whatever. The girl that was performing.
Talking about Cardi B?
No, I like me some Cardi. Don't get on Cardi. What's her name? The girl that performed, during.
Glorilla? You talking about Glorilla?
Glorilla, whoever, the one that something, that little song.
You talking about Sexy Red?
Sexy Red. I'm sorry. And y'all, please, again, don't come for me because I really don't listen to her music. I don't know her like that. I'm not trying to be funny. No shade. I don't know her name. Big Red, Sexy Red. She cute, right? However, do we as a Black community, do we as a Black community really feel that song, what it portrays, the message it gives, is that how we want ourselves represented is my question. Because you didn't ask me. I don't want her representing me. No offense to her. Listen, she's doing something with her life. She's becoming a better person. More power to her. No offense, no shade, really. However, there's a time and place under the sun for all things, and that was not the time nor the place. The whole world is watching. And I don't want the first Black president to represent ratchetness, and twerking, and that's not how I want the rest of the world. And we should not want the rest of the world to think that we're some crunk, ratchet class of people. Right. Our ancestors were not that. So for all y'all who think I'm being bougie, let's put that out there too. For everyone who might watch this and think I'm being bougie, let's put that out there. Our ancestors were not that. They were not twerking. And so
trying to get some freedom.
Yeah. Okay. So we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard. That's just my, I'll land the plane there for now. But that was just something I didn't like either. It was just, you made it into this big pep rally. And it's like, that's not focusing on the issue.
Right. Okay. We're going to check out this next video. I believe it's with Roland Martin talking about the Black Caucus.
Look, he looked mad for you even press play.
Tells you that they need to be putting some folks' asses in line, and then tells you, by the way,
this is Jason
you're
Black
the largest caucus
I know y'all get a chance
in
to check
the
him
Democrat
out on
Party.
What's his name?
The largest caucus in the Democrat
Jason
that
Black,
does absolutely nothing. They might as well not exist. They exist in name only. They might as well not
check out
be
what
there.
he said about the Black Caucus.
They are the largest caucus.
Oh, I might have missed it.
And yet they do absolutely nothing. Now that is a damning. This is all self-serving. His only real issue is they ain't did what he wants them to do for him. If they did, he wouldn't have a complaint. He wouldn't be complaining. So he's just venting because he realizes they're never going to give him no money. So he figures it's now or never. He's going to go ahead and take a shot at him.
Now check out what he say.
In the United States Senate, be the Democrat no longer can be the Democrat minority leader in the United States Senate. His time is done. On the House side, I don't want to see Nancy Pelosi's ass again on television doing interviews. It's time for you to go. Hakeem Jeffries is not. If Democrats regain the House, he becomes the majority. He becomes Speaker of the House.
Come after him.
If Republicans he's the minority leader. Nancy, it's time for you to go home to your husband. No. I'm saying that for a reason.
Because you're salty.
Because you have to understand, you cannot continue to have 75, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82-year-old people laying out your strategy when you're trying to reach demos. And when Nancy goes and she don't do black media because she damn sure didn't do black media when I asked for speaker. But she'll hop on MSNBC show, and thank goodness we ain't gonna see her on Andrea Mitchell, because Andrea Mitchell tired ass done with her show.
So Roland is upset because they didn't come to see him. Roland's upset because he hasn't gotten what he wanted. Roland sees this as his opportunity to go ahead and take them to task because they haven't come and bent the knee and kissed the ring on his program. Remember, he did this in 2020 with Kamala Harris, remember? He was flogging her and taking her to task because she didn't come to speak to him, remember? He did this in 2020. He always does this when they don't come and speak to him after the election is over. So he's just rinsing, repeating what he's done before. This is actually not new, although he has stepped this up to a whole new level of aggression. So he's certainly done that. He's gotten a lot more aggressive with this one right here. He's making his pathetic attempt at some bass in his voice, going about as well as it can be expected from him. Well, that's what Roland's throwing out there now. So he's naming everybody. Obama. He didn't name Jamie Harrison, but he did say the chairman of the DNC. So Jamie Harrison, Obama, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi. Oh, Roland is throwing them ham hock arms. He's windmilling them ham hock arms around at everybody.
Not ham hock arms.
I'm saying this because you cannot put new wine in old wineskins.
Come on, you better say that now.
You cannot have these folks who are still trying to use a playbook that's 20, 25 years old when literally what is facing us is totally different.
That's true. I do feel him on that.
It simply cannot happen. And
you got anything to say about that?
Oh no, I was just saying I do feel him on that as far as they're gonna have to come with something new. What's been working for them was smoke and mirrors, and that is just not gonna work anymore. They're gonna have to start producing. Right. They're gonna have to start naming things, not glossing over it. I mean, like A, B, C, D. Next, we're gonna do this. First, we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna do this. Then, we want details about what they're gonna do, and then you better come through with it. Because, we're not trying to hear that anymore. I agree with them. They can't come with them old tactics. They're going to have to come with something new.
Yep. I totally agree. Like I say, whenever you're taking something old and you're bringing it all the way up to today's time, I mean, you can use it as framework, but you can't build off of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It could be like the foundation.
Right.
But it's hard to keep it like let's take the Bible, for example, right? It's kind of hard to take what I know you're from the trip, but anyway, it's hard to take what they did back then and try to put it in 2025.
Right.
And live forward with it and go forward with it, what I'm trying to say.
Right. Everything has to be fluid. I mean, the word of God is fluid. But again, you have to, I think what's important is that people take the essence of what things are and apply that as opposed to trying to apply it by the letter. You know what I mean? Like exactly what they did. But I think if they went back to, not to take Trump's slogan, but if they want to go back to when Democrats were great again, make Democrats great again. Y'all don't come for me because I know y'all mad, but I couldn't help it. We're gonna make Democrats great again. If y'all want to make them great again, you have to go back to the essence of what made the Democratic Party great. I mean, there was a time when I was like, that was it.
Right.
And I'm not saying that I'm a full out Republican. I'm nothing right now. I'm for whatever's best for the American people. I did not vote a straight ticket. Trust me. I'm sure if someone looked at my ticket, they were like, what is this girl talking about? I was liberal on some things and Republican and Democrat but I looked up these people to see who fit what I stand for. But again, if Democrats want to capture their voters again, especially the minority vote, they're gonna have to go back to the days when Democrats were great. Back to the Clinton days, and even before that, but I remember the last time I remember a really, really like when times was good, Clinton. I mean, people can say what they want about my boy. My pockets was fat. I was chilling. Economy was doing good. Houses was great. The housing market was great. We was doing good.
Right.
I don't know what happened after that. I don't know what happened. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and go back to the basics, and go back to actually producing what, you can't keep giving us promises that you don't even intend. At this point, it's like some of the stuff y'all say, we already know that's a flat out lie. You just telling us what you want, what we want to hear. Like, so, I mean, we see it. There's no money for reparations, yet you're spending billions on a presidential election.
Right.
There's no money for reparations, yet you send billions to a war that we're not even in that. Right. And I'm not saying they don't deserve help. I'm saying, where are the billions to go toward reparations? Where are the billions to go toward making sure that the Black community is not dependent on your welfare, not dependent on your food stamps, not dependent on that? Help us pull ourselves up. You've held us down for so long. Help us get up. Right. So
but see, every time they do that, don't mean to cut you off, but every time they do that, we thrive, and then they lose. When we winning, they losing. So that's why they do what they do. And back then, the Black people, all they wanted was symbols. They wanted Black people just at the table, like they used to say.
Yeah, at the table. They
just want at the table. So.
Well, and that's another slippery slope. We won't get too far down that rabbit hole, but
not tonight.
I will say this about that particular thing you just said: having a seat at the table. We actually have Black people who have a seat at the table, and the problem is, once they get a seat at the table, they forget all about their community.
That's right.
And they're able to be bought off. And that is also the problem that we see, not to jump continents here. Y'all stick with me. But that's the problem that happened in Africa as well. The leaders over there were supposed to represent the people. What did America do? They came over there with money, bought them off, and now they're corrupt and do what America says to do. So the problem is, we have people sitting at the table, but they only want to eat for themselves. They don't want to pass us not even the crumbs. And so that's the problem. Is that we don't have people who get there and then stand 10 toes down on business for our people, But Trump was a big upset. I mean, look at that. He took like Bronx, like boroughs, like the Bronx. Like, I mean, he got the vote of it's going to take a lot for the Democrat. And then over the next 4 years, I really hope and pray that the Democrats sit down and everything that they think they know about getting the Black and minority vote, throw that out, put it in the compost, trash it. Don't use that anymore. We're not falling for that. You need to come with something totally fresh, totally new, that includes reparations or some sort of type of reparation and some sort of something that is going to help the Black man and Black woman and Black home thrive. We're tired of you throwing us crumbs. They're gonna have to come.
I'm glad you said that, because this video here is gonna deal with that. So one more video and then we'll wrap it up tonight.
301-226. Good Lord, that's the blowout.
Right.
I mean, he was at 200. I mean, he was already at the. No, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say he was already at the max when she was still under 200. So
I know it.
Time it was.
I went to sleep at that point.
Yeah, I did too. I just went ahead and turned. I was like, "Well, we're done." I mean,
yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
All right, here we go.
By 12,000 votes, Biden won by 12,000 votes. That means Trump lost Georgia by 12,000 votes. In 2020, just 4 years ago. 4 years later, you have a Black voter base that basically should run the yard, and yet Trump wins this year by over 116,000 votes.
Woo. Right?
4 years later, Trump lost by 12,000. This year, he wins by over 116,000. Or should I say, Kamala Harris lost the state of Georgia by 116,000 votes.
Wow. Yeah, she's going to have
not 116 million people, 116,000. 116,000. Somebody in the chat room, the slow bus children. You got to understand, the slow bus children talking about how to explain the black vote. They're desperate to try to figure out, can somebody else make up that shortfall there? It can't be us. It can't. They're desperate to try to make it seem like that. Jason, how do you know that that is what occurred here? Feast your eyes. That's Georgia. WJCL. Low turnout of black voters during early voting in Georgia. They were recognizing there was a problem early on.
Yeah.
What you got to do with the black vote? This, if you can be bothered to actually investigate and learn, never mind, you can't. That's what I'm here for. So just don't ask questions. Just sit back and listen. All will be explained. But by the way, the very first thing they were saying was that the black voter turnout in Georgia was already low.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were already saying that.
That was another problem.
Early voting was underway in Georgia. The state has surpassed 2 million ballots. According to the Georgia Secretary of State's office, only 26% of registered voters who identify as black made their way to the polls. Only a quarter. Only 26% of registered voters who identify as black had made their way to the polls.
She wasn't going to win with
only a quarter of them.
No. Well, they didn't.
In the 2020 election, over 700,000 voters were black.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you talk about it.
For sure.
For the guy who was asking, what I got to do the black vote right there? Okay, here it is in black and white for you, kid. Pay attention. I'm going slow so you can keep up. 2020, over 700,000 of those voters were black, according to the Secretary of State's office. 4 short years later, you can barely get a quarter of them to show up for early voting. And the final turnout is ultimately going to bear that out.
Wow.
You only needed 116,000. That's the point. You only needed 116,000. Over 700,000 showed up 4 years ago. And that's not even counting everybody who's eligible and registered. That's not counting all of them who are eligible and registered. You had more than enough to cover that 116,000 people.
Right.
Yeah.
If math's not your strong suit, sir, the bottom line is, in case you need some help, you had more than enough eligible black voters to cover that 116,000. Barack Obama would have had no problem getting that number.
Hey, I said it. One of the Obamas.
Barack Obama would have had no problem getting 100,000 black folk to show up 200,000. 250,000 black folk in Atlanta. Barack Hussein Obama would have had zero trouble in 2008 and 2012 getting 250,000 to show up. This never would have happened under him. That's the point. The situation has changed. It's changed dramatically. Folks didn't show up for one person, or they either defected to Trump or didn't show up for her.
Yeah.
Because what this doesn't show you is the lack of numbers here, because actually in reality she got fewer. You all can go look that up if you want to there. I don't want to get too deep off the list because I want to keep this very, very simple so that you can see these swing states, these so-called swing states that Kamala Harris needed. Trump took them all this time. Kamala Harris didn't get a single one. The so-called blue wall, the so-called swing states in the blue wall, Trump knocked the blue wall down. He took them all. Michigan. You know about Detroit? In 2020, Trump lost by 154,000 votes.
Damn! He do this time?
In 2020, he lost by 154,000 votes. 2024, Kamala Harris loses by 80,000 votes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's your black vote right there.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here showing it to you. That's your black vote right there.
He's right. The biggest
Not that
one
there were more people voting this time. That was your black vote right there. There it is.
That's the
Joe
biggest.
Biden had it 4 years ago. It got cut in half this time. That was your black vote right there. What that got to do with the black vote? It's got that to do with the black vote.
Yeah.
That's what it's got to do with the black vote. Trump. Want some more? I'll give you some more. North Carolina. Trump sweeps it. 189,000 votes. Roland goes on in his piece to talk about a county in eastern North Carolina. He said the Democrats didn't even show up in eastern North Carolina. You had a black county there that Trump won. A majority black county that Trump won.
Wow. Yeah,
that's North Carolina. He won it in 2020, and he wins it big in 2024.
Tired of empty promises.
Even the majority black county. 189,000 votes, not 189 million. Get that through your cinder block skull, dude. 189,000 votes. That's not your Latinos. You have more than enough registered black voters or available eligible black voters to sweep that 189,000 votes. And Barack Obama in his prime would have been able to mobilize that.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know.
Yeah.
In 2008 and 2012, Barack Obama easily would have mobilized that 189,000 votes. That's not Latinos.
We got one more state, and then I'm going to wrap it up.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to figure out some way to make this Latino cause or anything to black vote. We didn't do that. Yeah, we did. Read them and weep.
I just want people to see the numbers.
Pennsylvania. Now, for my people who are with me live, who were in the room with me Tuesday night, they know that I named those 3 states in particular. I named North Carolina, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. And I said, especially if she doesn't get Pennsylvania, the night's going to be over quickly.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, you can see the numbers there. Trump lost Pennsylvania by 80,000 votes 4 years ago. 4 short years later, he sweeps it by 145,000 votes. There's your black vote gone right there. What you got to do with the black vote? That's what it's got to do with it.
Yeah.
Right there. Not 80.
And you know, they'll sit up and say that we had nothing to do with that. And every state on here knows that if we were there, if we would have showed up, he would Kamala be the president.
Well, can I be honest with you?
Every state know that. They don't want to talk about it.
You're absolutely right. I really want to touch on this though, because I think what the black voter and what a lot of Democrats and Kamala supporters are failing to admit to self is that Kamala lost for 2 reasons at the polls. Okay. Not just what like rhetoric, but that aside, at the polls, she lost for 2 reasons. They either did not know her enough or did not trust her enough to show up for her in the first place at all. Or when they did show up, they did not vote Democrat. And that's the truth. That's one hard truth, because Georgia, let's be real, has majority African-American population.
Right.
So out of those hundreds of thousands of people who did vote, let's not be ignorant and think that all of them were Caucasian or Mexican, or because the Hispanic population in Georgia, I got family, we got a farm in Georgia. The Hispanic population is not as big in Georgia as people think it is. Right. So let's be honest, because until we're honest, we won't know. Sorry, I was trying to record us on here too, but we won't know until we're honest. We won't really be real about what, and the Democrats really won't be real about how to handle us. I'm not saying get real because I'm like, ha, Kamala didn't win, we didn't vote for it. No, I'm saying let's be real. and tell them the truth. No, Negro, we didn't show up not only did you not have a lot of us show up at the poll for you, we lost so much hope in you that the black folks that did show up in the Bronx, Georgia, the places where we should have showed up for you, we either didn't show up or we lost so much faith in you that we voted the other way, ma'am. Let's just be real with what it is. Or we voted, liberal or something that just didn't count because, they weren't going to win anyway, But let's be real with it. Let's be real. That's all I'm saying to our black people. Like, we don't want to talk about the hard issues. The hard issue is, and what we don't want to admit is, it's not that I'm against. It's not that other black people are against. It's not that even black people who voted Republican this time, it's not that they're against the Democratic Party. It's that the Democratic Party is against us. And we finally see that. And we're not stupid to that anymore. And we're not going to be played with. You're not going to you are not going to insult our intelligence anymore. You are not going to pacify us with smoke and mirrors, broken promises, words that are vain and empty. We're not taking that anymore. It's like being in a narcissistic relationship. We have been in a that is the perfect way to put it. The black community has been in a narcissistic relationship with the Democratic Party for all this time.
Right.
Because if we really look at it, we have voted in several Democratic presidents. I mean, it's not like we don't ever get a Democratic president, but nothing has ever changed for us.
Right.
So why are we still like, rah, rah, go team, yeah, what have they done for us lately? I'm just saying, like, what have they done? Why are we still, that's my confusion and my bewilderment comes from, why are we still ready to go toe for toe and box up for them? Like, why are we ride or die for them and they're not ride or die for us? Come on, what have they done for us?
Right.
Come on. I mean, you got black people ready to tell you that if you don't vote there was literally people that told me if I didn't vote Democrat, then I wasn't I'm not supporting my people. I'm not black enough.
Right.
You're not black if you're not voting. Look at Obama. Like I said earlier, he literally was on camera, had a room full of black men. But why are we going so hard for them? What have you done for us?
Right.
Other than keep us on welfare, other than keep us dependent on you. I want someone to teach me to fish, not to give me a fish.
Right.
I'll land it there. You know me, I'll go on forever. I'll land it there, but they disappoint me. It's disappointing. It's not that I'm upset at the Democratic Party. It's not that I don't like them. It's not that I hate Kamala. I'm just very disappointed at their track record over the last couple of years and now that we're awake, how we've been treated. It's surprising. It's surprising that they would think we're that dumb, and that we have been that dumb. Let's be real. We have been that dumb for so long to just be pacified.
Yeah. At least a good 50 years.
But that's the thing, they do change ideologies every 30 to 50 years. So that would make sense, but it's time for them to come back. We need y'all to switch back because y'all are tripping. This point blank period, they tripping.
So on that note, to me, all this is good because now we're finally on code. We all feel the same way about the Democrat Party. So that's a good thing.
True.
And tonight was a very good show. And I appreciate you being on tonight. And we're going to end this thing. And I appreciate you, like I say, participating and putting your thoughts into it. And hopefully the Black family will appreciate it.
For sure.
And
if they don't come for you. I'll stand for you.
All right. Thank you for being on tonight.
What I said, like Miss Nene Leakes, I said what I said. Good night.
That's right. Take care.
All right, you too.